Hi, I'm Zach, and this is Challenger Vedic Astrology and Tarot. Welcome to the channel. So, today we're talking about Mars transiting retrograde in Cancer. And this is for December 2024. And if you like this video, be sure to like and subscribe. It really helps out me and the channel. To be notified whenever I release a new video, be sure to hit the notification bell icon and select all. And if you'd like a Vedic Sidereal birth chart, a personal tarot reading, or an astrology consultation, the links to those will be in the description box and the comments below. And if you'd like to donate to help support the channel, links to those will be in the description box as well. Alright, so Todd has decided to join the video once again. Hello, Todd. Okay. But Mars is transiting retrograde. Now, this is going to be going on in the sign of Cancer from December 7th to January 21st. So, into early 2025. Now, when a planet transits retrograde, it's going to exert its influence by dragging that energy from that house, in this case the sign of Cancer, into the previous house, the sign of Gemini. So it's going to influence Gemini with the energy of the house that Cancer is. But this is Mars we're talking about. Mars is retrograde. So what's Mars? Well, Mars is conflict. First and foremost, Mars is conflict. So, there's a strong likelihood of revisiting past conflicts. That's one of the main things you'll see with this. Okay. Now, when we read these, first off, these are your Vedic Sidereal placements, not your Western Tropical placements. If you don't know your Vedic Sidereal placements, you can look up a free birth chart calculator online or get a much more detailed birth chart from my website. Okay. Now, I read transits from the Ascendant, from the Moon, and from the Sun. And you should always read transits from these 3 points. Ascendant is your overall path in life. The Moon. Moon is your mind, your emotions. It's how you think and feel about your reality. Sun. Sun's your soul. It's how your soul experiences this reality. So you have to look at transits from all 3 points. We're trying to triangulate your future here. You can't just ignore one of the points to go off of. Okay. But let's jump right in. We're going to start with Aries, like always. Alright, Aries. So, for you, Aries, Mars is transiting retrograde in Cancer, your 4th house. Well, Mars is going to act like it's in the previous house because it's retrograde. It's going to influence Gemini, your 3rd house. But it is still bringing the energy of the 4th house with it. So 4th house is your mother figures. It's home, land, real estate. It's your comfort, your happiness, vehicles. So now this is retrograding into the 3rd house. Well, 3rd house is your younger siblings, your cousins, your neighbors. It's media, social media, arts, sports, your skills, marketing and sales. It's communication of all kinds, including writing. 3rd house is short distance travel, but it can even be foreign travel because it's 12th from the 4th, furthest place away from your homeland. 3rd house is the house of efforts, self-efforts. It's 8th from the 8th, the higher form of sun ups and downs and transformation. Transformation through self-effort. So with Mars being here, well, Mars is bringing that energy of the 4th house. So we do see past conflicts can be revisited, tied to the 4th and 3rd house. But that'll be exerted in the 3rd house. So, as an example, this could be a conflict with your mother and with a younger sibling. This could be a conflict over real estate or a home with a neighbor. Like, these are some examples we can see with this. But Mars is conflict in general, so you will see conflict in the 3rd house. But also, the house is being energized. So you're going to notice a lot of activity, a lot of coming and going, a lot of communication. But be careful, you can definitely get into conflict with your neighbors, with your younger siblings, your cousins, people online. Remember, third house is social media and the internet. Okay, but now let's talk about the aspects of Mars. So Mars is a fourth aspect of conquest. That's going to be falling on the sixth house because Mars will aspect from the third house. So sixth house. Well, sixth house is your maternal aunts and uncles. It's your coworkers, it's your pets, it's your enemies. It's your everyday work, everyday routines, it's debt, it's competition, it's conflict, it's legal disputes, obstacles, health issues, and accidents. So now, Mars wants to conquer this house. Mars is saying you have to go back. It is time to fight your enemies. Time to defeat them. If you're wanting to get a pet, now could be a good time because you want to conquer the sixth house of pets. If you want to overcome your health issues, this is a great time. If you really want to put in that effort to achieve something in your work, now is a great time. Okay. Now, the seventh aspect is falling on the ninth house. Seventh aspect is the relationship aspect, but with Mars, it's conflict. So, ninth house is your father figures, your mentors, teachers, gurus, and of course your biological father. So, these are the people that you can get into conflict with, get into arguments with. Ninth house is also the law, so you can get into conflict with people involved in the law. People in higher education. Okay. Now, the eighth aspect is sudden ups and downs and transformation, and that's falling on your 10th house. So all this energy that you're going to have to put forth effort to conquer your enemies in your work, well, that's allowing you to suddenly transform your karma. 10th house is the house of highest karma. It's your career, it's your workplace, your status, your reputation, your managers and bosses. It's government, especially national government. So here we see things are suddenly changing here. Things will suddenly change at work. Suddenly changing with managers and bosses. Maybe your reputation is changing during this Mars retrograde. Okay. Moving on to Taurus. So Taurus, for you, Mars is retrograde in Cancer, your third house. But when it's retrograde, it is exerting its energy in the sign of Gemini, behaving like it's in Gemini. So, first off, third house, where it's bringing that energy from. Third house is your younger siblings, your cousins, your neighbors. It's communication of all kinds, including writing. It's arts, it's sports. It's marketing and sales. It's your skills. It's short distance travel, but it can even be foreign travel because it's 12th from the 4th house, furthest place from your homeland. It's social media, media in general, the internet. It's 8th from the 8th, so it's a higher form of sudden ups and downs and transformation. Sudden transformation through self-effort because 3rd house is self-effort. Okay, so this energy is being brought into your 2nd house. So 2nd house is family. It's your finances, your earnings, your savings, your bank account. It's your possessions, what you value. It's your speech. So here, past conflict is being brought. So this could be conflict between a younger sibling and your family. That's who's going to be involved here if there's conflict. But 3rd house is communication in general. And now it's retrograding into the 2nd house of speech. So there could be something very significant with the way you communicate during this transit. Okay. But we see the 2nd house is going to be energized. So with Mars, you're going to see something unique here. Mars is a soldier. Mars does not care about wants. Mars cares about needs. So in the second house, you're going to spend money on what you need. But Mars is also a soldier. He's going to go out and get what he needs. So there's going to be a mixture, a give and take here. You're going to get money, but you're also going to spend money on necessities. Okay. But there can definitely be conflict with your family. For sure. With Mars in the second house. Conflict over family, conflict over money. Now, let's talk about the aspects of Mars. I have a fly buzzing around. It's very annoying. Okay. Anyways. Now, the fourth aspect of Mars is the aspect of conquest. Now, Mars will aspect from the second house. So, this is falling on the fifth house. Well, fifth house is your children, students, subordinates. It's romance, fun and games, education. It's politics, speculative gains through stock market, through gambling, through business. So, with Mars aspecting here, we can see you'll be overly domineering with your children if you have children during this time. You'll be overly domineering when it comes to your education. You want to accomplish something in your education. You don't care who stands in your way during this time. Same thing in politics. If you're involved in politics. One second, Todd is about to fall. There we go, Todd. Okay. Now, let's see. Fifth house is also creativity, art, and sports. So, you want to conquer these areas. You want to accomplish something. You want romance. So, maybe you're going out and trying to meet people. Putting yourself on a dating app or something. Now, the seventh aspect of Mars is the aspect of relationships. But, in Mars's case, it is conflict. That's falling on the eighth house. So, eighth house is your in-laws or your partner's family. Eighth house is hidden people, occult people. So these are the people you can get into conflicts with. Now, the eighth aspect of Mars is going to fall in the ninth house. Ninth house is your father figures, your mentors, your teachers, your gurus. It's religion, philosophy, the law. It's long distance travel, pilgrimage. It's publishing. It's your luck and your fortune. So, there can be sudden changes here. Maybe, with Mars in the second house of family, aspecting the ninth house of father, maybe there's sudden issues with your father that you're dealing with. Maybe you're transforming your education. Maybe you're suddenly traveling. Traveling to see family in particular could be prominent here. Remember, Mars is bringing the energy of the third house into the second house. Maybe your luck is changing for the better. Or for the worse. Hopefully not. Okay. There could also be big changes in your education. Okay. Moving on to Gemini. Alright, Gemini. So, Mars is retrograde in Cancer, your second house. Now, when a planet's retrograde, outside of Mercury, it will exert its influence in the previous house. So, Mars is bringing the energy of the second house into the first house. First off, second house. Second house is your family. It's your finances, your earnings, your savings, your bank account. It's your possessions, what you value. It's your speech. So all this is coming into the first house. First house is you. your physical health, your body, your personality. So, what can we see here? Well, very clearly, we see past conflict with family being brought your way. Because Mars is bringing that energy of the second house into the first house. We also see finances are coming to you. There could be a loss in the family when it comes to finances on behalf of you. Maybe family has to help you financially. But these are the kinds of things that we can see with this. You're going to have a lot of energy during this transit. Because Mars energizes the house it transits in. So definitely a lot of energy to accomplish what you need to do. Now, the aspects of Mars. Mars has a fourth aspect of conquest, falling on the fourth house. Fourth house is your mother figures. It's home, land, real estate. It's vehicles. It's your comfort and your happiness. So, you want to conquer these areas of life. You want to control the home. Maybe even control the people within your home. You want to acquire new land, new property, new vehicles. You want comfort and happiness, and you will fight to have it. Now, seventh aspect is about confrontation, and that's falling on the seventh house. Well, seventh house is relationships, marriage, business partner. It's the masses, all the people you meet out in the world. So, expect to get in conflict with a lot of people during this transit. Especially in relationships and in business. Now, the eighth aspect is going to fall in your eighth house. Well, eighth house is your in-laws. It's joint finances and relationships and business. It's other people's money. It's wills, inheritance, estates, legacies, death, taxes. It's sex. Eighth house is the occult. It's research. It's psychological baggage. It's surgeries. It's sudden ups and downs and transformation. So there will be sudden changes tied to this house. Maybe there's sudden changes with your in-laws. Sudden changes in your joint finances. Sudden changes in your research. A transformation of your occult views. Okay. That's what I got for you though, Gemini. Moving on to Cancer. Okay, Cancer. So, Mars is retrograde in Cancer. But when a planet's retrograde outside of Mercury, it will exert its energy in the previous house. So Mars is bringing its energy into Gemini, the 12th house. So first off, first house is you. It's your physical body. It's your health. It's your personality. That's now being brought into the 12th house. Well, 12th house is bed pleasure, sex, and sleep. It's anywhere you feel isolated. Jails, hospitals, asylums, monasteries. It's losses of all kinds, including financial. It's investing, because when you invest money, you're temporarily losing money. It's donating. It's foreign people, foreign places, foreign travel. It's multinational companies. It's spirituality, if I forgot to mention that. It's fantasy, other worlds. So with Mars retrograde here, well, first off, we see now the energy of the first house of you. Your physical body is now in the 12th house. So you could be becoming more spiritual during this time. You could be traveling to far off foreign places, which makes sense with Rahu in your 9th house. A desire for long distance places for traveling. But you can also be dealing with losses. Remember, Mars energizes wherever it transits. So Mars will be energizing the 12th house of loss. Also, you can get into conflict with foreign people. Because Mars is conflict. Wherever it transits, there can be conflict. Okay. But this is good for your sex life. Mars in the 12th house. Energizing. The house of bed pleasure. Mars is passion. And like I said, this can definitely be good for travel. But now, let's talk about the aspects of Mars. So Mars is the 4th aspect of conquest, which will be falling on the 3rd house. 3rd house is your younger siblings, your cousins, your neighbors. Because Mars will aspect from the sign of Gemini. Todd decided to leave. Don't know if y'all saw or not. Okay. But 3rd house is also arts, sports, marketing and sales. It's your skills. It's communication of all kinds, including writing. It's short distance travel, but it can even be foreign travel because 12th from the 4th. Furthest place from your homeland. Third house is also 8th from the 8th. It's a higher form of sudden ups and downs and transformation. So you want to conquer these areas of life. So once again, definitely travel can be big here. But here, communication. You want to communicate. You may be isolated, but you still want to talk to people. You may want to acquire new skills. Maybe you're trying to learn a foreign language while you're off in a foreign country. Maybe you're wanting to put forth more effort to overcome the losses that you're dealing with. Maybe you're working in a multinational company and now you're trying to accomplish something in marketing and sales for that company. But we also have to look at the 7th aspect of Mars, which is falling on the 6th house. Well, 6th house, first off, 7th aspect is the relationship aspect. With Mars, that means conflict. So 6th house is your maternal aunts and uncles. It's your pets, it's your coworkers, it's your enemies. So these are the people or animals that you can get into conflict with. Please, leave your pets out of it. But definitely you can get into conflict with your maternal aunts and uncles, with your coworkers, and yes, with your enemies. But maybe that's a good thing. After all, might allow you to defeat your enemies. Now, the 8th aspect of Mars is falling on the 7th house. 8th aspect is about sudden ups and downs and transformation. 7th house is relationships, marriage, business partner. It's the masses, all the people you meet out in the world. It's 10th from the 10th, higher form of your career, your status, your reputation. 4th from the 4th, higher form of your comfort and your happiness. So here we definitely see a big transformation of these things. Transformation of relationships could take place. Maybe your relationship comes to an end. Maybe you decide to move in together. Maybe you decide to get married. There can be a big change with your reputation. But these are the kinds of things that we can see. Alright. Moving on to Leo. Leo, for you, Mars is retrograde in Cancer. But when a planet's retrograde outside of Mercury, it will bring its influence, its energy, into the previous house. In this case, Gemini. So, first off, Mars is in the 12th house, retrograde though. So the energy it's bringing is of the 12th house. 12th house is bed pleasure, sex and sleep. It's spirituality. It's anywhere you feel isolated, jails, hospitals, asylums, monasteries. It's losses of all kinds, including financial. It's investing, because when you invest, you're temporarily losing money. It's donating. It's addictions. It's foreign places, foreign travel. foreign people. It's multinational companies. It's fantasy. It's other worlds. So this energy is being brought into the 11th house. So 11th house is your elder siblings. It's your paternal aunts and uncles. It's your friends, your network circle. Large organizations, large gatherings, parties. It's stock market. It's gains. It's your hopes, wishes, and desires. So, with Mars retrograde, behaving like it's in Gemini, bringing that energy of the 12th house of Cancer. First off, we see past conflicts with your paternal aunts and uncles, with your elder siblings, with your friends, and your network circle can definitely be there, even with a large organization. Here, you're trying to overcome past losses by gaining. Because now Mars is no longer energizing the 12th house of loss, it's energizing the house of gains. You gotta make up for those losses. Mars is trying to help you in that regard. But we definitely see Mars's conflict. There will be conflict with your elder siblings, your paternal aunts and uncles, your friends, your network circle, large organizations. But those gains will definitely be there. Mars is giving you the energy to accomplish your hopes, wishes, and desires. Now, whether or not you actually will, that'll depend on your own individual chart. In particular, your dashas, or your planetary and sign-based time periods. Those are most important. A good astrologer always looks at those first. Transits are the last thing a good astrologer looks at. Okay. But now, the fourth aspect of conquest is going to be on the second house. Second house is family. It's your earnings, your savings, your bank account. It's finances. It's your possessions, what you value, your speech. So, fourth aspect of Mars is about conquest. You want to conquer these areas of life. So, you could be a little over-domineering with your family during this time. You want to conquer your bank account. You want financial gains. Mars in the 11th is all about achieving financial gain. That is a big part of it. Okay. Now, seventh aspect is falling on the 5th house. Seventh aspect is the relationship aspect of a planet. But with Mars, it's conflict. So 5th house is children, students, subordinates. It's people you deal with in an educational environment. It's politics. So you can get into conflict with people in these areas of life. Or with these people. Okay. Now, the 8th aspect of Mars is falling on the 6th house. So, 8th aspect is about sun ups and downs and transformation. 6th house is your maternal aunts and uncles. It's your pets. It's your coworkers. It's your enemies. It's conflict, competition, legal disputes. It's debt. It's health issues and accidents. And it's obstacles, if I forgot to mention that. So, we see there will be sudden changes here. Sudden changes with your maternal aunts and uncles. Maybe you suddenly get a pet. Transformation of your everyday work and routines. There's a shakeup there. Big changes at work take place. Maybe you suddenly defeat your enemy. Maybe you're able to suddenly overcome debt. Okay. But that's what I have for you, Leo. Moving on to Virgo. Alright, Virgo. So, Mars is retrograde in Cancer, your 11th house. Bringing its energy into the previous house. Because when a planet's retrograde, besides Mercury, it will exert its energy in the previous house. In this case, Gemini. But it is still bringing the energy of the 11th house. So 11th house is your elder siblings, your paternal aunts and uncles, your friends, your network circle, large organizations, large gatherings, parties. It's stock market, it's gains, it's your hopes, wishes, and desires. So all this is being brought into the 10th house. So 10th house is your career, your status, your fame, your reputation. It's your workplace, your managers and bosses. It's government, especially national government. It is the highest house of karma. It's your karmic actions that the world notices. So even if you're retired, 10th house is still important. Okay. So here we definitely see that there can be conflict tied to your career. Maybe it's over money. Conflict tied to gains being brought into the 10th house. Maybe you're having conflict with your managers, your bosses, because you're not being paid enough. You want more gains, so now you're trying to achieve more status. But there will definitely be conflict with people within your workplace, especially your managers and bosses. But Mars is energizing the 10th house, giving you the ability to fight those battles. To achieve something in your career. To achieve some kind of status in the world, even if you're retired or out of work. Okay. Now, let's talk about the aspects of Mars. So Mars is a fourth aspect of conquest, falling on the first house. First house is you, your physical health, your body, your personality. So now you want to conquer yourself. You want to overcome your issues. You want to be a better you. Maybe you're having bad health. Now you want to be in better health. Maybe you're dieting. Maybe you're working out. Trying to be a better you so that you can fulfill your karma. That's what Mars being in the 10th house is all about. Now, the 7th aspect of Mars is falling on the 4th house. So, 7th aspect of a planet is the relationship aspect. But with Mars, it brings conflict. 4th house is your mother figures. It's the people within your home, people of your homeland, especially for those who have some degree of fame. So, you will get into conflict with these people. With your mother, with people within your home. Now, the 8th aspect of Mars is going to fall on the 5th house. Well, 5th house is, first off, 8th house is sun ups and downs and transformation. 8th aspect, Okay. Alright, now that's falling on the 5th house. 5th house is your children, students, and subordinates. It's education. It's politics. It's arts, sports, creativity. It's politics, if I didn't mention that already. It's education, if I forgot that. Sorry, I'm losing my mind right now. Okay, but there will... Sorry. 5th house is also speculative gains through stock market, through gambling, through business. Ugh. There we go. Okay. There will be sudden changes in these areas of life, though. Maybe you're suddenly having kids. Maybe there's a sudden change of your education. Maybe you're suddenly getting into sports. Suddenly feeling creative. There can be a big change in your political views. Although beliefs is more 9th house than 5th house. But 5th house is the house of politics. Okay. That's what I have for you though, Virgo. Moving on to Libra. Alright, Libra. So, Mars is transiting retrograde in Cancer, your 10th house. But when a planet's retrograde outside of Mercury, it is exerting its energy in the previous house. In this case, Gemini. So first off, 10th house is your career, your status, your fame, your reputation. It's your workplace, your managers and bosses. It's government, especially national government. It's your karmic actions that the world notices. This is the highest house of karma. So even if you're retired, it's still important. So Mars is bringing all of this energy into the 9th house. The 9th house is your father figures. It's your mentors, your teachers, your gurus. Hello, Todd. Yes. Come over here if you're coming over here, Todd. Todd decided to interrupt the video to announce his presence. Lie down, silly cat. Okay. Well, leave the mic alone, at least. Damn it, Todd. Okay. What was I saying? Okay, 9th house is your mentors, teachers, gurus. It's your father figures. It's religion, philosophy, the law. 9th house is higher education, especially beyond like a bachelor's degree, outside of typical schooling. It's long distance travel, it's pilgrimage, it's publishing, it's your luck and your fortune. So, Mars is going to exert its energy from the 10th house in the 9th house. You can get into conflict with your father over your career. That is definitely something that could take place here. Here, maybe you're having to go back to school for your work. Travel for your work. Because remember, that energy of the 10th house is in the 9th house now. Maybe you have a manager or a boss that's traveling. That's leaving the office for a while. Maybe they're being temporarily transferred or something like that. But Mars is still energizing that 9th house. So, there will be conflict with the people of the 9th house. With your father, with people in educational environments, especially your teachers. With people in the legal profession. But Mars is also energizing your luck and your fortune. Now, let's talk about the aspects of Mars. So Mars is going to have a 4th aspect of conquest. That's going to fall on the 12th house. So, 12th house is bed pleasure, sex and sleep. It's spirituality. It's anywhere you feel isolated. Jails, hospitals, asylums, monasteries. It's losses of all kinds, including financial. It's investing, because when you invest money, you're temporarily losing money. It's donating. It's foreign people, foreign places, foreign travel. It's multinational companies. It's fantasy. It's addictions. It's other worlds. So you want to conquer these areas of life. Maybe you're definitely wanting to travel. There's a big possibility here with Mars acting like it's in the 9th house, aspecting the 12th house. Definitely there could be travel. Here, you want to become more spiritual. So you're trying to achieve something there. Or maybe you're wanting to have a better sex life. So you're trying to achieve something there. Trying to get out and meet people. Getting on a dating app or something. Here, you want to overcome your losses. Maybe you're wanting to invest in something to have that better luck and fortune benefit you, since Mars is energizing your luck and your fortune. But let's talk about the 7th aspect of Mars. 7th aspect is the relationship aspect of a planet, but with Mars it brings conflict. That's falling on your 3rd house. So, 3rd house is your younger siblings, your cousins, your neighbors. It's social media, the internet. So these are the people you can get into conflict with. And definitely you can get into conflict with people while you're traveling. Because Mars is aspecting every single house of travel here. It's in the 9th house, aspecting the 12th house and the 3rd house. Now, the 8th aspect of Mars is going to fall in your 4th house. So 8th aspect is about sudden ups and downs and transformation. 4th house is your mother figures. It's home, land, real estate. It's your vehicles. It's your comfort and your happiness. So here there can be a sudden transformation with your mother. Maybe she's not in good health. Maybe you're suddenly having conflict with her. Maybe she's moving. There could be a sudden change of your living situation here as well. Or maybe you're just suddenly renovating your home, getting a new car, repairing a car. A sudden change in your comfort and happiness. Okay. That's what I have for you though, Libra. Moving on to Scorpio. Alright. Scorpio. So Mars is transiting retrograde in Cancer, your 9th house. But when a planet's retrograde outside of Mercury, it brings that energy into the previous house. So with Mars, it's bringing the 9th house into the 8th house. So 9th house is your father figures. It's your mentors, teachers, gurus. It's religion, philosophy, the law. It's higher education beyond like a bachelor's degree or outside of typical schooling. It's long distance travel, pilgrimage. It's publishing. It's your luck and your fortune. So this is being brought into the 8th house. 8th house is your in-laws. It's joint finances and relationships and in business. It's other people's money. It's death, wills, inheritance, estates, legacies, taxes. It's sex. It's the occult. It's research. It's psychological baggage. It's surgeries. It's sudden ups and downs and transformation. So, Mars is bringing the 9th house into the 8th house now. So maybe you're having to deal with the death of your father. Worst case scenario. Now you're having to deal with, his will. Now, if you know your father's in good health, do not worry about this. This is just for those that know that that's a possibility. Maybe your father needs a surgery. Maybe you're having a conflict with your in-laws over your beliefs, because 9th house is the house of beliefs. Mars will bring conflict. It'll bring conflict with your teachers, your mentors, with occultists. Leave me alone. That's what I have to say to that. I don't need that. You can get in conflict with people in banking. Why? 9th house is the house of banking. And 8th house is other people's money. So there can be conflict when it comes to finances as well. Especially when we talk about the aspects of Mars. Okay, but one of the positive things this does is this can energize your joint assets. In relationships and business. This can also energize your sex life. Mars is passion. It's in the 8th house of sex. But now let's talk about the aspects of Mars. So Mars has a 4th aspect of conquest, falling on the 11th house. 11th house is your elder siblings, your paternal aunts and uncles, your friends, your network circle, large organizations, large gatherings, parties. It's stock market, it's not gambling, it's gains. It's your hopes, your wishes, and desires. So you want to conquer these areas of life. You want to suddenly gain during this time because Mars is aspecting from the 8th house. Here, you want to be the one in charge of your friend group. Here you want to overtake your elder sibling, especially if it's over an inheritance. Here you want to be in charge of a large organization. You want to gain through the stock market. Now, the 7th aspect of Mars is the confrontation aspect. The relationship aspect, but with Mars it brings conflict. So that's falling in your 2nd house. 2nd house is your family. 2nd house is finances. So these are who you will be in conflict with. Now, the 8th aspect of sun ups and downs and transformation is falling on the 3rd house. Todd got hair all over me. Damn it. Oh well. Alright, so 3rd house is your younger siblings, your cousins, your neighbors. It's arts, it's sports, it's your skills, it's marketing and sales, it's social media, the internet, it's communication of all kinds, including writing, it's short distance travel. It's 12th from the 4th, so it's the furthest place from your homeland. So it can also show foreign travel. It's self-efforts. It's 8th from the 8th. So it's the higher form of sun ups and downs and transformation. Transformation through self-effort is the 3rd house. So there's going to be a sudden change here. Maybe you're suddenly learning a new skill. Maybe there's a transformation in your relationship with your younger sibling. Maybe you suddenly have a new neighbor. Maybe you're traveling. Okay. Yeah. Alright. That's what I have for you though, Scorpio. Moving on to Sagittarius. Alright, Sagittarius. For you, Mars is retrograde in Cancer, your 8th house, exerting its energy in the previous house of Gemini. When a planet's retrograde outside of Mercury, it brings its energy into the previous house. So, 8th house. 8th house is your in-laws, joint finances and relationships and business. It's other people's money. It's sex, it's the occult, it's research, it's death, wills, inheritance, estates, legacies, taxes, it's psychological baggage, it's surgeries, it's sun ups and downs and transformation. So now all of that is being brought into the 7th house. 7th house is relationships, marriage, business partner. It's the masses, all the people you meet out in the world. It's 4th from the 4th. It's the higher form of your comfort and happiness. It's 10th from the 10th. Higher form of your career, your fame, your status, your reputation. So, with the 8th house influencing the 7th house now, we definitely see there can be conflict being brought within a relationship or a business dynamic. Especially when it comes to joint finances. That's very likely. There can be a big transformation of a relationship or of a business, of your reputation. Mars energizes the house it transits in, but it also brings conflict. So definitely there can be conflict with lots of people right now. There can be psychological baggage being brought into a relationship or into a business partnership. Okay. Now, let's talk about the aspects of Mars, though. There's a 4th aspect of conquest falling on the 10th house. Well, 10th house is your career, your status, your fame, your reputation. It's your workplace, your managers and bosses. It's government, especially national government. 10th house is the highest house of karma. It's your karmic actions that the world notices. So even if you're retired, 10th house is still important. Okay. So yeah, you want to conquer this house right now. You want to achieve something in your career. You want status. You want fame. You want a better reputation. You want to be the one in charge. You want to be the boss. Maybe instead of being in a career, instead of working under other people, you want to start your own business. That kind of thing can be shown with this retrograde. Now, 7th aspect is the confrontation aspect when it comes to Mars. 7th aspect's relationship aspect, but with Mars it brings conflict. That's falling on the 1st house. 1st house is you. So now people are bringing conflict to you. So get ready. Now the 8th aspect of Mars is falling on their 2nd house. Well, 8th aspect is sudden ups and downs and transformation. And that's falling on the 2nd house. Well, 2nd house is your family, your finances, your earnings, your savings, your bank account. It's your possessions. It's what you value. So, we see there will be a sudden change with your family. Sudden change with your finances. Maybe even a sudden change in what you value. Alright. But yeah, that's what I have for you, Sagittarius. Moving on to Capricorn. Alright, Capricorn. So, Mars is retrograde in Cancer, your 7th house. But when a planet's retrograde outside of Mercury, it brings its energy into the previous house. So, previous house is Gemini, your 6th house. Now, 7th house, though, where Mars is bringing that energy from, is the house of relationships, marriage, business partner. It's the masses, all the people you meet out in the world. It's 4th from the 4th, higher form of your comfort and your happiness. 10th from the 10th, higher form of your career, your status, your fame, your reputation. So now this is being brought into the 6th house. 6th house is your maternal aunts and uncles. It's your pets, your coworkers, your enemies. It's debt. It's conflict, competition. It's legal disputes, obstacles. Your everyday work, everyday routines, health issues, and accidents. So, definitely, there can be a relationship where there's now conflict. Or with a business partner where there's now conflict. Maybe a business partner becomes your enemy. Hopefully not your relationship partner. Chill out. That's what I have to say with that. But we definitely see there can be issues with that. If you're in a rocky marriage, just know this could be the time where that divorce really heats up. Okay. But there can be conflict with your maternal aunts and uncles, with your pets. Hopefully not. Leave them the hell out of it. With your coworkers, with your enemies. This is the one good thing about this retrograde. It's giving you the energy to defeat your enemies. Now, whether or not you will defeat your enemies is going to depend on your dasha, or your planetary or sign-based time periods. A good astrologer looks at transits last. Okay. But Mars is giving you the energy to overcome your debt. Now, this can work the opposite direction though, where you acquire more debt. So be careful if you don't want that. But here, definitely there could be some kind of accident, some kind of health issue. Remember, Mars is a malefic. It helps in some ways, but it hurts in others. Okay. But now, let's talk about the aspects of Mars. So Mars is going to have a fourth aspect of conquest, falling on the ninth house. Well, ninth house is your father figures. It's your mentors, teachers, gurus. It's religion, philosophy, the law. It's higher education beyond like a bachelor's degree, outside of typical schooling. It's long distance travel, it's pilgrimage, it's publishing. It's your luck and your fortune. So here, definitely, once again, if you're involved in a legal matter, this can be a great transit for fighting that battle. Here you want to conquer the people of the ninth house. You want to be the one in charge. You don't want to listen to your father. Here you want to be the teacher, the guru. Here you want to overcome issues, maybe so you can travel. Maybe you want to publish something. Maybe you want to have luck in a competition. Now, seventh aspect of Mars is going to fall in the 12th house. Seventh aspect of a planet is the relationship aspect. Now, this is falling on the 12th house. Well, 12th house is spirituality. So spiritual people are seen with the 12th house. 12th house is foreign people. It's multinational companies. So, spiritual people, foreign people, people that work in multinational companies, you can get into conflict with these people. Now, the eighth aspect of sun ups and downs and transformation is falling on the first house. There we go. So first house is you, your physical health, your body, your personality. So there can be a sudden change, sudden transformation with you, with your health, with your personality. Be careful with this. Remember, Mars in the 6th house can show accidents. So be careful. There could be an accident that affects your physical health. Okay. Moving on to Aquarius. Alright, Aquarius. For you, Mars is retrograde in Cancer, your 6th house. Well, when a planet's retrograde outside of Mercury, it'll bring its energy into the previous house. In this case, Gemini, your 5th house. But 6th house is your maternal aunts and uncles. It's your pets, it's your coworkers, it's your enemies. It's debt. It's your everyday work, everyday routines. It's conflict, competition, legal disputes. It's obstacles, it's health issues, and it's accidents. Now, the 6th house is being brought into the 5th house. Well, 5th house is your children, students, subordinates. It's education, it's romance, fun and games. It's creativity, art, sports. It's politics. It's speculative gains in stock market, through gambling, through business. So, the energy of that 6th house is being brought into the 5th house. If you have children, children can have health issues. Children can have accidents. Be very careful. Keep an eye on them. Same thing with your students. Here, children could be dealing with competitions. Or you could be dealing with competitions, especially in sports or an artistic or creative field. Even a political field. Maybe you're getting a pet for your children. If so, be careful. There could be some aggressiveness with that pet, especially because Mars is involved here. And no, I'm not saying do anything to the animal if it hurts your child. I'm saying do better as a parent. I'm gonna lose subscribers. Need to lay off people. Okay, anyways. So with this though, we can definitely see conflict with people in an educational environment. Because Mars brings conflict. You can definitely have conflict with your children. Maybe it's over a pet. Maybe they want one, and you don't want them to have one. But Mars is giving you the energy to pursue your education. Mars is giving you the energy to pursue romance. Here you want speculative gains. Mars is energizing that for you. Now, let's talk about the aspects of Mars. Mars is going to have a fourth aspect. Oh, sorry. Actually, there is one other important part of this. So, sixth house is debt. With Mars retrograde into the fifth house, definitely debt on behalf of your education could take place. So be careful if you don't want to acquire more debt. Okay. Now, the aspects. Fourth aspect of Mars is falling on the 8th house. Fourth aspect is the aspect of conquest. So 8th house is your in-laws. It's joint finances and relationships and in business. It's other people's money. It's death, wills, inheritance, estates, legacies. It's taxes. It's sex. It's the occult. It's research. It's psychological baggage. It's surgeries. It's sun ups and downs and transformation. So here you want to conquer these areas of life. Mars is energizing the house of romance, aspecting the house of sex. So here you want more of a sex life. It's in the house of education, aspecting the house of research and the occult. Maybe you're researching on behalf of your education. Maybe you're trying to learn more about the occult. Hopefully from me. Here, you can be overly domineering with your in-laws. Here, you want control over other people's money. Here, you want to control sudden events. You want to be the one that caused this transformation. You don't want transformation to happen to you. Okay. Now, the 7th aspect of Mars is the relationship aspect. But with Mars, it brings conflict. That's going to fall in your 11th house. 11th house is your elder siblings, your paternal aunts and uncles. It's your friends, your network circle, large organizations. So, these are the people you can get into conflict with. Be careful with that. If you don't want conflict, watch your P's and Q's. Okay. Now, the 8th aspect of sun ups and downs and transformation is falling on the 12th house. Well, 12th house is bed pleasure, sex and sleep. It's spirituality. It's anywhere you feel isolated. Jails, hospitals, asylums, monasteries. It's losses of all kinds, including financial. It's investing, because when you invest money, you're temporarily losing money. It's donations. It's foreign people, foreign places, foreign travel. It's multinational companies. It's fantasy. It's other worlds. It's addictions. So here we see there can be a sudden change in your sex life, in your spirituality or your spiritual views. Sudden travel could take place. You could deal with sudden losses. Here, there can be a transformation of your spiritual views. Transformation of your investments. Maybe your investments weren't making money and now they are. But these kinds of things can take place. Alright. Let's get on to you, Pisces. So Pisces, for you, Mars is retrograde in the 5th house in Cancer. But it's bringing its energy into the 4th house of Gemini. Because when a planet's retrograde outside of Mercury, it affects the previous house. But it will bring that energy of the 5th house. So 5th house is children, students, subordinates. It's romance, fun and games, education. It's creativity, arts, sports. It's politics. It's speculative gains through stock market, through gambling, through business. So all this is being brought into the fourth house. Fourth house is your mother figures. It's home, land, real estate. It's vehicles. It's your comfort and your happiness. So, with this, we see conflict is being brought into the fourth house. Mars is conflict, don't forget. So, there can be conflict with your mother, with the people within your home. Maybe it's tied to children. Here, maybe children are upsetting your comfort and your happiness. So that's causing conflict. Hopefully you're not too young watching this, but education. There can be conflict with your mother on behalf of your education. Here, with Mars retrograde from the 5th into the 4th. Your speculation, tied to real estate, tied to vehicles. That's being energized with this transit. There can definitely be, conflict or a lot of dealings taking place when it comes to local government politics. Because 5th house is politics, 4th house is local government. And also people of your homeland on a larger scale. Now, let's talk about the aspects of Mars. Mars has a 4th aspect of conquest. That's going to fall in the 7th house. So 7th house is relationships. It's business. It's marriage, business partnerships. It's all the people you meet, the masses. It's 4th from the 4th. It's the higher form of your comfort and your happiness. It's 10th from the 10th. It's a higher form of your career, your status, your fame, your reputation. 7th house is the actual house. That is the highest of karma. Even higher than the 10th house. So, with this, we see you want to conquer this area of life. Maybe you want a relationship. Maybe you want to achieve something in business. But be careful, you can definitely be overly domineering with this. Now, 7th aspect is the relationship aspect. But with Mars, it brings conflict. That's going to fall in the 10th house. So, 10th house is your workplace, your managers and bosses. It's your government, especially national government. So you can get in conflict with these people. You can get in conflict with people within government, like a police officer. You can get in conflict with your managers and bosses, with people in your workplace, even coworkers or customers or clients. Now, 8th aspect of Mars is going to fall on the 11th house. 8th aspect is about sun ups and downs and transformation. 11th house is your elder siblings. It's your paternal aunts and uncles. It's your friends, your network circle. Large organizations, large gatherings, parties. It's stock market and gains. It's your hopes, wishes, and desires. So here, there can be sudden gains, especially if you're involved in speculation, with Mars retrograding from the 5th house. Here, there can be a transformation of your relationship with your elder siblings, your paternal aunts and uncles, your friends. Transformation within a large organization that you're a part of could take place. Transformation of your stocks can take place. But definitely there can be sudden gains here. Okay. But yeah, that's what I have for all of you. Hopefully you've liked this video. If you did, be sure to like and subscribe. Really helps out me in the channel. To be notified whenever I release a new video, be sure to the bell icon and select all. If you'd like a Vedic Sidereal birth chart, a personal tarot reading, or an astrology consultation, the links to those will be in the description box and the comments below. If you'd like to donate to help support the channel, the links to those will be in the description box as well. There we go. Okay. Alright. But yeah. Todd really wanted to be a big part of this video, apparently. But alright. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch y'all in the next one.